Minecraft has received a multitude of different additions in the past year through various game drops and not too long ago, major yearly updates. These have all brought new features to the game for the player to explore and integrate into their own worlds. And while these updates have all been beneficial additions, I can't help but wonder if some of these updates were actually necessary. Now don't get me wrong, I am a huge fan of Minecraft's latest game drops and the features they bring along with them, but that doesn't necessarily mean they were what the game actually needed. There's currently a lot of aspects of Minecraft that are still in need of being brought up to speed with the rest of the game, or there are certain unspoken rule sets the game world follows that leave some things currently feeling unfinished or missing from the game. So that made me ask the question, what updates does Minecraft actually need? And I don't just mean updates the community wants, but updates that I feel would be necessary to make the game feel complete if Mojang was to stop updating Minecraft entirely. Now obviously the first update that comes to mind is the end update, as it's not only the most requested update currently, but it is the one dimension out of our current three that almost feels a bit out of place in the game due to its lack of depth and content. I'm gonna keep the end segment brief, as like many others, I have made countless videos on why we need an end update and what we should see inside said update, but to put it in the simplest terms possible, we just need more reasons to visit the dimension past an elytra and shulker boxes. This could come through the form of new building materials, new usable items, and of course new biomes to explore and mobs to interact with. An end update is definitely needed, but since it's so frequently talked about, I'm gonna focus on highlighting other necessary updates. One update that I believe is necessary for Minecraft is the addition of an autumn themed biome. I love the season of fall with the various leaf colors and the overall atmosphere it provides, and this is something we just need to see in Minecraft, but not just because of its appealing aesthetic. Minecraft needs it because it's the only season left that no current biomes cover. And while many people want to see an autumn biome through the addition of seasons, they don't realize seasons have been in the game for the longest time through the form of different biomes. The addition of seasons also goes against Mojang's development rules, as it would change your world without your intentional involvement. So that's why we receive seasons in the form of different biomes rather than one biome changing over the course of time. We have many snowy wintry biomes, many hot summer biomes, and considerable spring biomes like flower fields and cherry grove forests. So the lack of an autumn themed biome is an inconsistency in the game that I feel needs to be attended to. On a similar note, another feature people have begged for but won't be introduced due to Mojang's development rules is weather events such as tornadoes and earthquakes. While we will never see these come to the game, nor do I think they should, Minecraft could definitely use some more ambient weather events like our current weather events such as rain and snow. These could be simple things like sandstorms in the desert and mesa in place of rain, or windstorms with particle effects appearing as gusts of wind. They could also be more subtle ambient effects like ground fog sometimes appearing at night or early in the morning, or after a rainstorm water drips from tree leaves, or a large rainbow appears in the sky. I feel that adding more ambient weather events dependent on the biome you're in will help differentiate biomes and make the world feel more versatile as a whole. Now, another factor that plays into what could be considered a necessary update is things that have been set up for the future but haven't been fully integrated yet. A prime example of this is the ancient city portal. I think it's pretty clear by now that this structure in the middle of the ancient city is a portal. So if Mojang were to stop updating the game, they would need to give this portal an actual function beforehand. I've seen many ideas and speculations as to what could occur after lighting this portal, whether it's a fully fleshed out deep dark dimension, or the method to spawning a new boss like we saw in the Minecraft Spicewood leaked concept images. There's pretty much endless possibilities as to what lighting this portal could actually do, and what could be on the other side. But it's a question that sooner or later I feel needs to be answered with an update. Another question that needs to be answered is whether or not you guys are subscribed. If you guys have enjoyed this video whatsoever so far, a like is greatly appreciated and goes a long way towards helping the channel out, as well as subscribing to ensure you never miss out on another video just like this one. It helps me out a lot, so thank you. Now something else I feel Minecraft needs is an expansion of the enchantment system, and by this I mean new enchantments targeted towards new tools and items that don't currently have any unique designated enchantments for them. Some examples of this could be farming based enchantments for the hoe. While Mojang hasn't blatantly stated they are against the use of auto farms, the average player doesn't usually create more than an XP farm. So an enchantment that allows hoes to harvest crops in a bigger radius, like left clicking and getting to harvest a 3x3 area of crops, or an enchantment that when you harvest a crop it immediately places down a replacement seed from your inventory, would go a long way towards making large farms more viable for the average player. I'm also sure Mojang could come up with some more creative ideas, but normal farming has been pretty much the same for a while now, so enchantments switching up the experience would bring some new life to Minecraft's farming aspects. Now they could just do a whole farming update, but I don't believe that to be a necessity for the game's completion. Another expansion upon enchantments could be making enchantments applicable to mount armor, such as horse armor, nautilus armor, and even the happy gas harness. On top of this, giving mounts unique enchantments that improve upon their current abilities would be great as well. For example, an enchantment increasing the speed of the happy gas during flight. These are just two aspects of the game I currently think need to be brought into the enchantment system, but I'm sure there's a ton of possibility for expanding upon the enchantment system as a whole. Another system that I think really needs to be reworked or at least expanded upon is the combat system. Listen, I know Minecraft is not a combat focused game and it doesn't have to be huge changes, but the combat system currently has power scaling that makes a ton of weapons in the game somewhat irrelevant, at least for most situations. And to be fair, I don't actually know if they will ever fix this, as one of the main issues is the fact that the sword is just so good in so many different scenarios that the only way to make it balance with Minecraft's other weapons would be to nerf it, which is something I just can't ever see them doing. If the sword was to be nerfed, it would prompt more variety in playstyle and weapon usage, and it's important to keep in mind that since Minecraft isn't a combat focused game, there will never be a super complex combat system, but I think a little more variety could be nice as well. We did just receive the spear as a new weapon with unique mechanics, which I am a huge fan of, and think there's room for at least 1 or 2 more weapons like this with unique properties to make their way into the game. As for what they could be, I'm honestly not really sure, but it's something I feel would go a long way towards making Minecraft feel complete. I will say though, expanding upon combat could be considered a bit of a stretch for being a necessity, but it was something I felt was a worthy mention. Another needed update is new life to old structures. I'm talking desert temple, jungle temple, the stronghold, etc. These old structures, while staples of the game, currently just feel outdated when put in a comparison with Minecraft's newer structures. They almost feel unfitting. Updating these structures to either have more generation variety or become part of the process to finding a new, bigger structure would make them feel more like a part of the current world without completely getting rid of the original designs. They could simply just add some new variants that have slightly different layouts or different rooms that contain different booby traps. Another example I really like is to integrate the theme of the biome the stronghold is found in into the layout. So if it was in a lush cave, the stronghold could be overgrown and filled with plants, while if it was in the deep dark, it could be covered in skulk and would provide the new challenge of having to avoid the warden. Another idea is making the old structures a necessary step to visit a new big structure, like finding a key in the loot of the chest in a jungle temple to visit a new larger jungle pyramid. Another feature I feel is needed with old structures, and honestly just most structures in general, is making the ominous potion applicable to them to increase their difficulty and reward players for taking on a bigger challenge. Now for some structures, this could require a complete overhaul, but for others like bastions and strongholds, simply just replacing chests with trial vaults and integrating trial spawners into the layout could allow for the integration of the ominous potion and increase difficulty for experienced players looking for a challenge. Overall, a lot of structures in Minecraft need a bit of tweaking. They could improve upon them with massive overhauls, but I think just by adding slight variations and giving players more of an incentive to visit, they would fix a lot of current structures issues. The next update I want to talk about is actually already in the game through experimental snapshots, and that's the improved minecart mechanics. I don't have too much to say about this, but Mojang, please just add this to the base game. It makes minecarts actually useful transportation again and literally has no downsides. Minecarts used to be so fun, but now with the various mounts in the game and the elytra, there's no real reason to make minecart tracks. And even if you're making them for fun, like for a roller coaster, faster minecarts with better physics allow for even more potential to create fun contraptions. So Mojang, please just add it. Now the last update I believe Minecraft needs to feel complete is gonna be pretty vague, and is probably a lot more involved to add than it seems, and it's simply just bringing more uses to the various items in the game with one singular function. Examples of this are armadillo scutes, echo shards, the nautilus shell, etc. This by itself is a lot more to update than it sounds, as actual good functions and uses require Mojang to come up with very thoughtful designs and purposes, and it's not as simple as just making the echo shard into an echo shard block. There's so many features in the game right now that once you've created one item with them, you literally have no reason to ever touch it again. So while this update does sound very vague, and it is, I do think there's just a lot of things in the game that could really use some touch-ups. But those are just some updates I feel Minecraft actually needs to feel complete. What do you think about these updates? Do you have any updates that you feel are necessary or really want to see? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, so drop any ideas you have down in the comments below. Anyways guys, if you did enjoy this video, a like is greatly appreciated and goes a long way towards helping the channel out, as well as subscribing to ensure you never miss out on another video just like this one. It also helps me get closer to my goal of reaching 30,000 subscribers, so thank you. But that is it for today guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.